All right, here we go. I'm Peter with Heroes Quest Consulting. We're doing a webinar today called Better Brand Storytelling. And I just want to say up front that we all have a story. And it's a matter of is it a compelling story? Do you know what it is about your story that's interesting to other people? We're going to talk about that. But first of all, story in business, story is the engine. It's not one of many leadership tools. It sets everything in motion that is to be created, whether it's a product or a service or whatever that may be. The Bible laid it out. In the beginning was the Word. So, I mean, I don't need any more validation to justify the power of storytelling. And in business, it's very important because, as we all know, people buy from people that they know and like and trust. And the BBB is all about trust. And storytelling is a large component in that. It starts there. A simple, compelling story will help you align your strategies, your business strategy with your branding, with your marketing and sales strategies, all of your recruiting, how you host your events, all of that, how you choose your board people. The story is a roadmap for where the business is going. And story is also the best way to deliver meaning. What does it mean to be Peter Davis? What does it mean to be a member of the Better Business Bureau? What does it mean to be an American? What does it mean to be from Oklahoma? What does it mean to be a Davis or a Smith or a Jones? I sat at the foot of my parents and aunts and uncles and grandparents on a porch in East Tennessee and heard stories galore. They were explaining to me what it meant to be a Davis, what values we held dear at our core. So people buy from people that share their worldview and their belief systems and their values as much as anything. So story is a great way to signify where you're coming from, what you stand for, why it matters, what's in it for the rest of us. That's key. What's in it for the rest of us if you get what you want. So any one slide on this deck could be an hour webinar. So we're going to move through it as quickly as we can. We'll stop every now and then for check-ins and questions. And then at the end, you're welcome to reach out to me and connect, and I can fill in any gaps for you with a private one-on-one. So setting the stage. This is hopefully, this is what we're going to walk away with today. An idea of how to clarify your story's message. Knowing who your audience is and being as specific as possible. If you want a universal message, you need to tell the story as specifically as you can. That's key. Specificity gets you universality. You can't be all things to all people. That waters your story down. It makes it no one cares. And you may have the most compelling story in the world, but the way you tell it may be an issue. So understanding proper storytelling techniques. What is it about your story that's interesting to other people? To other people. Very key. Ask questions in chat, and Clay will bring it to all of our attention. We can address it. If your mic is off, if you're unmuted and you want to ask a question, and while we're going through the deck, you can do that too. I'm going to stop after another few slides and see how we're doing. This is big here. Hero motivations. Every story has a hero. And in business, our motivations, the hero's motivations in business are gonna be rooted in one of these 4 basic human needs. These are universal. Are you in the business of helping people be happy? Walt Disney is. He's in the happy business. Are you in the business of making people feel safe? Volvo is. Are you in the business of helping people feel like they belong to a community? Huge. The BBB is. A group of people doing crafts together are. And we find our communities not just literally in our neighborhoods or in our towns, but online. That's the beauty of the online world, the digital realm, is that our communities are all over the world. People that wear a certain style of tattoo, believe me, they have a universal worldwide community that they gather online and initiate new members and have rituals and have beliefs and have values that they're constantly reinforcing and glorifying. What do you glorify as a value or belief? How would anyone know that you're glorifying that so that they could raise their hand and go, oh, well, me too. How do we get together? In business, you get together in commerce. And we buy things according to our values. I'll pay more for a free range egg than I will for a regular egg. That's me. Other people may find that silly. I don't. So I shop with my values. Be happy, be safe, belong to a community, achieve. I'm in the help people achieve business. So there's an example, Disney, make you be happy. Be safe. A bank is going to try to make you feel safe. They're going to adopt this figure of authority and it's a real ruler kind of archetype. We're solid, stable, no worries. I've got it covered. You're totally safe. Your money's safe. All right. So everyone just kind of think for a minute, well, what kind of business am I in? You're not selling a widget or a product or a service as much as you're selling one of these. You're selling an emotional feeling. You're selling something empty in your audience and your customer that needs to be fulfilled, and they come to you so that they can fulfill that narrative. I don't buy a Harley Davidson to be safe. I might buy one to be happy, but believe me, if I buy one, I belong to a community of Harley people that tattoo the logo on their bodies. How strong a community is that? What kind of commitment with that loyalty, that kind of loyal commitment, what's that worth to you as a business owner? A lot. Is your story epic enough? Live free or die? I mean, that's pretty epic. That's a call to action. Not literal, but maybe for some. But think about that. Is your story worthy? Is the ask big enough? Is the promise big enough? All right. Here's an exercise. A story is a journey. Where are you taking your audience? And if you're not sure how to begin that or understand that, think about the 4 basic needs: happiness, community, safety, accomplishment. And if you've identified which realm you're in, then this exercise will be a little easier. Finish the sentence. I or we, depending on the nature of your business, see a day when, and fill in the blank. If you get what you want, if you succeed at your business, what's changed? I see a day when all business people harness the power of story to attract allies to their causes. And I'm going to add another sentence. And when that happens, everybody wins. If I help you achieve your goals and be successful at your business, you've helped Baltimore, everybody wins. I see a day when mobile devices save lives, when children are judged by their character, not the color of their skin, when we put a man on the moon by the end of the decade, not because it's easy, but because it's hard. I see a day when every home has a computer. These all came to fruition. Seemed impossible back then. Computers were as large as rooms. But someone promised a computer in every household. Now we carry them in our pockets. I see a day when a single working mother needs an oil change, she can go to whatever, not because it's cheap, but because they have a room where she can sit with their children and play with toys and, play with games or whatever. That's very specific, but what's your story? Where are you taking us? You can change oil, or you can take single working mothers to a place of safety with their children in the middle of a busy day. Hang on to this, because you're going to use this later. And by later, I mean fairly soon. So hang on to this. It's important. 3 legs of the story stool. These are all connected. No one stands alone. People focus on their mission, and it's not enough. It's just not enough, because they try to jam everything into their mission statement. And then we water it down, trying to be all things to all people. And then we water it down some more by playing it safe. We don't want to offend anybody. And then we water it down some more by, especially nonprofits, by adding all this human resource compliance stuff. Oh, we're all about diversity. Yeah, sure, because you're supposed to be. Don't brag about it. You're supposed to be. Oh, we're all about quality. Of course you are. Of course you are. What else? So, what's your higher purpose besides making money? Not that there's anything wrong with that. That's what we're all in business for. We have to survive. But in addition to that, or beyond that, what's your higher purpose? Make people happy, make people feel safe, help people achieve, help people find a community. And then be specific. In what way do you do that? What's your higher purpose besides making money? How do we make that evident to others who share those values, that worldview, or that belief system, or that purpose? You're signifying. In theater, we signify. In Hollywood, they signify. Madison Avenue is always signifying. Sure, they're going to spell it out, but they're also going to signify using every design element they can get their hands on: light, color, sound, texture, rhythm, music. We don't send an actor out on stage without costume, props, lighting, direction. Why would a business person send out their salespeople or their frontline people out into the field without giving them all the tools to share the story in a way that is theatrical and compelling and signifies the meaning and all of that? Your vision. We just did that. What does the future look like when you succeed? When you get what you want, what's in it for the rest of us? Boy, if you can articulate that, where I can see myself as your customer, potential customer, flourishing as a result of doing business with you, then I'm the hero of your story. And I feel good in that spot as a customer. We've got a higher purpose, and we have a vision of what it looks like when that higher purpose is fulfilled. Then we have a mission, which really, in my opinion, is what's the worldview, belief system, or values that get you there? You ask people what their mission is, and they tell you, and you sit back and you go, well, that just sounds like what you do. I mean, that's what you do. That's just a literal expression of what you do. Okay. So let me give you an example. I help people and organizations make a bigger impact. Use story to make a bigger impact. But the purpose is help people get to the next level. Understand their power, understand their potential, understand what makes them tick, understand where their passion burns, and help them align all of that and harness all of that and use story to so that they can help other people. I can't help the whole world, but I can help you and you and you and you and you, and together we can make a huge difference. Help people take it to the next level and make a bigger impact. My vision: when people use story to attract allies to their causes. And my mission is very simple, has nothing to do with business. Find good people and take care of them. I know y'all are good people because you belong to the Better Business Bureau. Many of you. That already tips me off that we have things in common. I'm already tipped off because I understand their brand very well. So all I got to do is find good people. People that have a purpose beyond making money. People are trying to make a difference. People are trying to help, not just opportunists, you know, and me. It's find good people, help them use story to attract allies to their causes. And when that happens, the world is a better place. All right, let's check in for a minute. In chat, let's just go to chat for a minute and give me a thumbs up or a yes or an okay. How's everyone doing? Do we need to go back and cover anything? Does anyone have any questions at this moment?
We'll give it a second here. So far, no questions, but I know it sometimes takes a little bit of time to type out some
Yeah, sure.
question. But Nancy says she's loving it so far.
Oh, good.
No, all good from Melody.
Thanks. The three legs of a stool thing is just really important. If you can get them working in harmony together and then they make sense together and you can read them backwards, you know, like I just did, mission, vision, and higher purpose, all of a sudden you're creating a narrative just from that. I'm on the hunt for good people. If you know any good people that are struggling to fulfill, you know, to service their passion and their cause, send them to me. I'm going to help them use story to attract allies to that purpose, to that cause. And when that happens, they take it to the next level. They help the people they're helping take it to the next level. I get to be a part of that in a small way, and I feel good about myself and about the good that we've done together. That's a story. That's a good story. There's nothing to argue with. We ready to go? Keep going.
Yeah, we got a lot of all goods. We have one question from Josh. It's more of a philosophical question. He's asking what type of message could a construction company send?
That's a big conversation, and I invite you to hook up with me on LinkedIn, and we'll do a 15-minute Zoom and talk through that, because there's a lot of things to talk about. Are you delivering? Are you helping them feel safe? Is a home a community for an extended family and their neighbors and friends? Does a new home signify an achievement? I've arrived somewhere in my professional life and in my adulthood that I now have a home. You could go about it any number of ways. So I think when you understand who your best, most ideal customer is, that will help you. And we're just about to get into that, about who's your customer, what's their story, what, you know, and trying to align those things. So I didn't give you an answer, but I'm giving you a process, and I'll help you with that process after today, if you'd like. All right, here we go. Whose story is it? What a question. And what do they want? Why does that even matter? What stands in the way? What's different when they overcome the obstacles? So the question is, whose story is it? Is there anyone, I can tell my story, and if I do, when we tell our own story, sometimes we have a tendency to go to the beginning. Well, I came out of college and started a theater company. Well, who cares? That was 40 years ago, 30 years ago. That was a long time ago. So you really want to pitch your story forward. No, otherwise you're just reading your resume, or someone's reading an obituary. Well, then they did this and that and that and that. And then, oh, this is big, that's the past. You want to pitch your story forward. And you want your customer, you want to be able to be very clear about your business story through the lens of your customer as the protagonist, as the hero. And I think most of us know that, or feel that, or sense that. And I'm here to validate it. Now, when you look at this, what do they want? Why does that matter? What stands in the way? What's different when they where's the fun of the story? What makes the story interesting? What do they want? That's important. Why does that matter? That's really important. I highlighted it. But what stands in the way of what they want is where the story is. Act 2, the conflict. The conflict is so important because that's what's engaging. Watching the hero overcome obstacles. And how we as businesses overcome obstacles is how we express our values and creativity. That's what's interesting to other people. And a lot of times in business, we focus on the wrong things. We focus on Act 1, which is just the situation. And that's a salesperson saying, I know, I feel your pain. That's a start. But that's only Act 1. That's the situation. Act 3 is, we fixed it. Look how great we are. We fixed it, the resolution. But it's Act 2 where man, I've got this grand plan to do good, make a difference. And I need money, I need talent, I need resources, I need clients, I need help. How do you attract that help? All right. Character deep dive. Sometimes it's smart to create an avatar for your ideal customer. Let me give you an example. Walt Disney used Mickey Mouse. Walt Disney's a powerful guy, powerful, big ideas. But he wasn't the avatar. Mickey Mouse is the face of the brand. They're in the happiness business. Walt could be a jerk. So he wouldn't be the best avatar, and one day he's going to pass on. So Mickey is eternal. Mickey is all about happiness. Mickey is all about magic. That avatar lives on. That avatar stands in for the business. So create an avatar, and I'm gonna give you some examples of that. Some people use Ken and Barbie. Some people will use characters from literature or Hollywood. The Clint Eastwood, the man with no name. There's all kinds of ways to come up with your avatar. Storyboard their day. Your ideal customer. Storyboard their day. When does your product or service make an entrance? What happened just before that all of a sudden your product or service was necessary? That's why we're storyboarding their day. Knowing when you and your audience come together is theater. It's business. Business is theater. And so you want to make the most of that engagement. What caused the need for your product or service? The need to be happy, safe, part of a community, to achieve something. So in the last slide, where's the action? It's in what stands in the way. On this one, where's the action? When does your product or service make an entrance? So there's a lot of ways to come at this, but you want to be as specific as you can with your most ideal customer. And the more specific you are, the more universal you are. These are avatars that I use. For purpose-driven, mid-career professional women looking to get to the next level, I use Subaru. It's safe, it's well-engineered, it's versatile. Whenever I went to when I was running, whenever I would go to a cause-related 5K run, and they're everywhere, the parking lots would be full of Subarus, just full of Subarus. And I knew that all these purpose-driven professionals were all about cause-related events and fundraising. So the Subaru is my avatar for purpose-driven career people trying to take it to the next level. I use Volvo for my nonprofit clients, mid-sized cultural and cause-driven nonprofits, all about safety. You know, the engineering is for safety, not to go fast, but to keep people safe. And for business people, I use the SUV. It's versatile in a different way. It's more about performance. It's more about my presentation and demonstrating my level of competence as a business person and success in my career. So that, you know, when I'm stuck trying to figure out, you know, marketing and this and that, I'm like, well, how do car people market to these demographics, to this ideal audience? So I learn from others. So think about your avatars and think about how your ideal customer, how this person spends their day, and at what point in their day do you engage them? Do they need you?
Hey, Peter, we actually had a pretty good question to interrupt you here. Kim
Sure,
asks, how do you narrow your avatar down when you have a service like dental practice? Are you looking for demographics specifically?
There's so many of us that we can legitimately say, well, everyone needs an oil change. Everyone needs dental work. Everyone, you know, and so isn't everyone our audience? So the answer is yes, but I don't know. The dentist I go to does a lot of restoration and implants and this and that, and so it's they do regular dentistry as well, but I go to them because I have implants and I need. I'm not sure how to answer the question just yet. If you're a dentist, are you a boutique? Are you a group practice? Are you single proprietor? You know, working in a little cottage beside your house. I mean, those kind of things would help. You know, and just looking at your business and who is your customer, who you know, and just doing a deep dive into your own metrics. But you know, be safe, be happy, community, achieve. I'm going with safe. If my teeth aren't right, I'm in trouble. You know, if my feet aren't right, I'm in trouble. So there are certain things where just as a baseline, in order to be safe and attend to my mortality and to go forward and do things in the world that I want to do, it may be safety. I'm not sure. You can reach out to me after this and we can have a more extended one-on-one conversation where I'm not trying to manage time and you know, if you know what I mean. So I don't have a quick answer to that. No, I'm sorry. I'd look at safety and is it professionals that have a presentation that they're concerned about, or is it families that are all about health and keeping in front of it? I might start there. Now it's your turn. Answer the questions, write them down so that you can keep working on them later. Who is your ideal client? What is their biggest problem? How do they feel about that problem? How do you help them solve the problem? Take 5 minutes and answer these. Don't think too long about it. Don't spend 4 minutes on the first one, and because you're gonna iterate. You're gonna keep answering this and going over this and working through this with other people, with your peers, with your colleagues, with your coaches, with the BBB. Clay, Joanne, Angie, these are great storytellers. They care about you. And once we have worked out your story, they have all kinds of services designed around the staging of your improved story to deliver it to your audiences across any number of integrated media. I mean, they're set up for you to take your story and activate it on a real stage. By stage, I mean, and Hollywood, it's film. In Broadway, it is a stage. In business, it's your website. It's an event. It's a tabletop exhibit at a expo, at a business expo. It's a business card. It's an elevator pitch. It's social media content. If you're not sure how to translate the story that we come up with today across those kind of mediums, ask the BBB. They can help you. All right. Keep working on this. This is important. We're going to use your answers as raw material for your story. Think about your basic motivation. Am I in the safety business, the happiness, the community, or achievement? If you're struggling with what their biggest problem is, it may be one of those. Expressed in a way that isn't as literal as I'm making it seem, but their biggest problem is probably going to have something to do with one of those four. Who needs another 2 minutes? Let Clay know in chat.
Nothing so far.
Everyone good? We can go back. I'm going to go forward. Here we go. This is my answers. My ideal client is you, small business. What's their problem? Competing with national brands in the digital realm. How do they feel about that problem? Well, if I can't compete, I mean, fear of failure. How many local businesses and restaurants and boutiques have I seen in Hamden and elsewhere that I love that have not survived? How do you think they feel? National brands, bigger companies have all these resources. They have budgets for this kind of stuff, and your little mom and pop boutique. What are you going to do? Fear of failure. And the solution? Story techniques and proper staging. I mean, I'm really simplifying it here, but because I've iterated this over and over and over and over again to keep it as simple as I can at its core. There's the questions. It's an example of the answer. What can I do with these answers? These answers are the raw material for a new and improved story. I'm in the help people achieve business, so I'm going to help them compete with national brands. Once I understand what it is I'm actually selling and the basic motivation, accomplishment, achievement, that helps me. That helps me. When I add a very specific ideal client, that really helps me. There it is. How do they feel now? Confident. They're not afraid. They're confident. How did I solve the problem? Bringing storyteller techniques to their missions and messaging. I replaced the fear with confidence. So I'm just not like, hey, who needs a story in my marketing? I'm who's stuck? Who's afraid? Who's an underdog? Who's just starting out? Who's outgrown and sale? Who's outgrown their capabilities? Who's trying to scale and needs a culture change? You know, there are a lot of ways that fear gets manifested. And what is considered a struggle or an obstacle to you or me is personal. Ideal client, small business, local. I could add a million things. Local. In my neighborhood, however specific it is required for you. If you're a boutique on the Avenue in Hamden, then I mean, there's any number of ways to identify your ideal client. Is it hipsters? Is it locals? Is it townies? Is it other business people? Is it, you know, having lunch? I don't know. Be as specific as you can, though. All right. So you have the process. You can keep iterating the process. You can go to the BBB and take action and start letting them help you stage this story across any number of social media platforms. You can connect with me. I invite you to connect with me on LinkedIn. And I invite you, and then we can set up a 15-minute Zoom session and kind of go over any questions, go over what you came up with at the end and see, you know, where we can take that. Yeah, so it's not over. It's a lot. I've thrown a lot at you. I get it. You need to let it digest. You need to play with it. You need pushback from somebody that you trust. Pushback. I push back to see what holds up. I'm going to validate. I'm either validating or we're going to iterate together. Both are good.